All right, today I'm going to show you two different ways to get an AI to help you out with writing some fabulous poetry, evocative poetry, sad poetry, happy poetry, whatever kind of poetry. Doesn't really matter. Anyway, so what you've got going for you that Shakespeare did not have going for him, which might help you with, your poetic expression, shall we say, is artificial intelligence. In fact, I'm going to show you two different programs that can help you get your feelings out there through poetry. And the first one I'm going to show you is Wordhero. And as you can see from the little tab that's open up here, the second one is going to be Pseudorite. Now, both Wordhero and Sudowrite do things differently, which is why I want to show you the two. And we'll just start with Wordhero to keep things simple, shall we? All right, let's do poems. And what shall we write about? It says, example, traveling to Kyoto and admiring historical sites. So let's do something a little bit different. Looking out through my kitchen window at the cloudy summer day. Yeah. That should be evocative in some way, shouldn't it? All right, at the cloudy summer day. And then at this point, you just click write for me. And we wait for just a few seconds. The AI is writing. There we go. Clouds billowing in the sky. A summer day that's not so bright. Looking out at the view, only finding a cloudy sight. Staring at the dark clouds above, thinking of all the things I'd love if only the sun would come out and give me some light and hope. I don't know, what do you think? Is that pretty good? Let's try again, shall we? Write for me, and then we can just keep doing this, right? So, in the bleak light of the day, clouds obscure the summer sun as I watch. I don't like that one at all. Let's do another one. Write for me. And let's see what happens here. Oh, it's a little bit more detail, a little bit more meat on this one here. The clouds hang low in the sky, a dreary sight on this summer day. But looking out my kitchen window, I see a beauty in the gray. The way the clouds are moving so slowly and so peacefully, it's like they're telling me a story of a life I've yet to see. It's a reminder that even on the gloomiest of days, there's still something beautiful to be found. So here's the thing. When you're generating poetry in this way, you may find that, say, the first part is really good and you like that. And you will copy that and then you can incorporate it into whatever it is that you decide to do further. And you don't have to like the last part there. Or you can pick and choose from different things, change a word here and there. And I do this all the time when I play with these things. So don't think of this as the final result. Like, for instance, let's do this. Godzilla ate my breakfast and now I am going to go hungry. Oh, woe is me. So think of all of these things as just the beginning, okay? So let me see. Godzilla ate my breakfast and now I'm going to go hungry. Oh, woe is me. I was so excited to have breakfast this morning. I thought the eggs and bacon would be so savory. But when I woke up, Godzilla was right there. He ate my breakfast and now I'm going to go hungry. All right. Okay. That might not be the most brilliant thing ever, but hey, let's do this. Let's go back to the results from earlier. And of course, what was it? The clouds I had looking out my window at a cloudy summer day. So let's take this now, and I'm going to show you what Sudowrite does with it, okay? So both of these things, whether it's Wordhero or Sudowrite, have lots of different things. They've got things for, writing blog posts, riffing on different things, cover letters, emails, like all sorts of things like that. I'm not going to bother you at the moment. It's just poetry. And we're going to do the same thing here with Pseudorite. Pseudorite is more like, fiction writers' tools. I think of it more as a fiction writer tool as opposed to something which is there to serve purposes like SEO and blog posts for, 5 ways to save money this weekend, that sort of thing. So let's go to Story Tools, and you'll see that one of the tools is Poem. And this is where Sudowrite is really, really different. So I'm going to do my topic here with the same one we did before, looking through my kitchen window at a cloudy summer day. I'm not going to put in a title. I could do that. I could seed it with a few lines, and start with that. But instead, I'm going to say, here's what's really, really cool. I'm going to say, just submit this. But look over here, paint an image for this poem. This is one of the things I love about Sudowrite because it's lots of fun to do this. So I click submit, And scroll down here, and it says we'll start painting when the poem is finished. Now, what's interesting about this is often Sudowrite will go on its own way. So I give it a subject to think about, but it doesn't necessarily write about that. It goes off in completely different directions sometimes, and I love that. So let's look at this one here. We have met. We have met at the corners of the capital, where the grandeur of public buildings usually doesn't interest anyone. We have met at the corners of the capital, where the grandeurs of the public buildings usually don't. I don't really like that one. See, it's repetitious. So that's okay. We can just say submit and start again. Okay, and that's true, by the way, with Wordhero. Wordhero may create something that's completely lame, and it's like, well, I don't really like that. Fog on the window pane. Well, there's an interesting place to start. Let's go with that, shall we? All right, fog on the window pane. Fog on the window pane has nothing to do with me. I am an aching brain in an unlighted house, a woman who moved here knowing she'd never see outside again. Without windows it would be the same, but here I live in this body which needs light and air. The fog is on the other side of the glass. It's not my life that's clouded over. It doesn't come inside. I'm the one who sees it all. Well, okay, obviously in this one here I'd change the, a woman who moved here knowing. I'd make it, some dude who moved here knowing he'd never see the outside again. But, it's interesting. It's not bad. So right now you'll see the AI painter is working. This can take a minute. Now I'm going to scroll down because well, this one, the AI painter is working. So we will pause a moment. The first part of the picture appears. This is just the beginning. It will paint it in as it goes. Oh. Well, I may have to leave this poem as a woman. And there you have it, fog on the window pane. And again, I could lift this, I could modify it in whatever way I see fit, change it to reflect whatever it is I'm feeling, or if I think one word would work better than another, or remove something here and there. And I do this when I'm playing with poetry with these things. I edit the output of these things to basically say what I want to say. But nevertheless, these are great ways to sort of jumpstart your brain if you actually do want to write some poetry, or for that matter, if you just want to have some fun with it. Both Wordhero and Sudowrite are paid services, but in both cases, you can also check out a free tier where you can experiment with how things work and decide if it's something that you'd like to stick with. Personally, I think that the output from a poetic perspective is better on Sudowrite, although Wordhero does tend to generate things pretty darn quickly. Like, let me see, creating AI poetry is pretty darn fun. You keep an open mind. There we go. Keep an open mind. There we go. Write for me. This tends to be very, very quick. Okay, so in the case of Wordhero, it tends to be really quick. But there we go. To create AI poetry is quite a fun endeavor if you keep an open mind while you're doing it. Hey, steal from me, why don't you? But of course, with Sudowrite, you tend to get a little bit more, into the whole surrealistic free verse sort of stuff happening. And then, of course, you get these really cool little pieces of art, which if you want to post this to your website, if you want to include it in something that you've done, you can just do a right click, save image as, and then, you've got a copy of this to work with. And all of this stuff is generated on the fly. This is a one-off. Sudowrite will save it for you if you have an account, but it is a one-off. In other words, this is a completely original piece of art which will, presumably never be recreated again. And as I understand it, it's being done by a modification on tools like Midjourney, for instance, if you've played with any of those things. So there you go. This is how you too can be a world-famous poet. Maybe, maybe not, but with a little help from artificial intelligence. Wordhero, Sudowrite, check them out. And hey, while you're at it, like, subscribe, and share this video with friends, okay? Cool, cool. Ooh, there we go. We have met. There's the original one. There's the artwork. Okay, that is some seriously bizarre piece of art on that one there. Gotta love it.